All right, yes, Jets Talk is wearing a Saints jersey. I have to rep my NFC team. Been a big fan ever since Reggie Bush was drafted there. Big fan of Drew Brees. I couldn't have picked a better spot for Teddy to land. I really do like Teddy a lot. I think he's in the perfect situation, backing up Brees and possibly being the heir apparent to him. Initial reactions to the trade. Not going to lie, I was pretty frustrated when I found out it was a third-round pick. I don't really care that the Jets gave up a sixth-round pick because generally those guys don't even make the team anyway. But a third-round pick, I'm thinking, you know what, we should have gotten a second-round pick or at least an offensive lineman or a pass rusher in some respect. If they had held on to Teddy for a little bit into the season, maybe a starter gets hurt and we get that second, maybe even a first-round pick or, multiple picks or something to that effect. Pretty frustrated at first glance. Started thinking about it a little bit. It made sense for both teams, I think. Why would the Saints do it? All right, first off, Teddy, cheap backup quarterback in case Brees gets hurt. Brees is, 39 years old. He's going to, he takes one bad shot, their season could be over. They have a Super Bowl caliber team, so having that rock solid backup quarterback is huge for that team. It also gives them the ability to franchise Teddy after the season in the event that they wanted to keep him and maybe Brees retires or Brees, gets hurt or whatever. Brees has a $33.5 million cap hit next year. So the chances of him being on that team beyond this year, pretty slim. I think he's going to retire. I don't think they'll actually cut him, but they'll save $23 million if they designate him a June 1st cut. Which will free up a ton of cap space to be able to sign Teddy to a contract. Even if it's a one-year prove-it deal that's higher than the, $10 million deal or whatever he wound up getting this year. They don't have a first-round pick in this next year's draft, so if they wanted to try and draft an heir apparent to Brees, they would have had to do it in a later round. And generally speaking, when you get out of the first round, those quarterbacks don't tend to stick. Oddly enough, Brees was a second-round pick. Whatever. Now on to the Jets. Why do the Jets make this move? It's weird because Teddy looked like he was probably better than Sam in the preseason. I don't necessarily believe it, but, statistic-wise, his quarterback rating and everything was better than Sam's. It makes sense. Teddy chose the Jets in free agency. As much as people may think, hey, the Jets were the only one that gave him a contract or whatever, the Jets have a world-class training facility and a world-class medical facility at Florham Park. So they are, for someone who had been out of football for pretty much 2 seasons and wanted to come back and really get healthy, I think Teddy saw that and saw the opportunity that, the Jets may be out of position to get a quarterback sitting at number 6. So in the event that the Jets couldn't trade up, you had Teddy as that option, as well as having that safety net of, world-class facility, get him up to speed, get him healthy. I think there were probably conversations once Sam was taken, hey, we want you to, compete really hard. We're going to put you in the best situation and help you get, a contract with another team, and we're going to try and recoup picks from the Sam deal in that, in the future. And I think Teddy probably understood that. He's a pretty smart dude. The other thing, Jets traded him out of conference. So the only way the Jets verse Teddy again is in the Super Bowl or if he moves teams and switches to the AFC after this year. The other thing, the Jets got a third-round pick for him. People say, hey, if you held on to Teddy and you let him walk at the end of the year, you could have got a compensation pick. Basically, the way the compensation picks work is you are awarded a gifted pick, if you will, from the NFL. That's either a third-round pick or all the way back to a seventh-round pick, based on the amount of free agents you signed versus the amount of free agents you lost. Because the Jets have like $100 million in cap space next year, the Jets are going to sign a lot of free agents. So letting Teddy walk for a pick that wouldn't even happen until 2020. The way compensation picks work is it's a year after, so it wouldn't even be a pick in next year's draft, to be a pick in 2020. If Teddy signed a contract elsewhere and we sign enough free agents like we are expected to sign, there is going to be no compensation picks. So the Jets wouldn't have gotten anything. The other thing is Teddy's $5 million clause in his contract would have kicked in if he was on the 53-man roster. So now the Jets have 3 quarterbacks right now, but the last guy, Wilford or whatever the fuck his name is, he's going to probably get bumped down to the practice squad. Jets will carry 2 quarterbacks, which frees up a spot for another position, whether that's a pass rusher, a lineman, maybe a wide receiver. We have a pretty good stock of wide receivers. Maybe it's a return guy in that respect. That $5 million that the Jets save now goes onto next year's cap. They'll be able to roll that over and be able to use that towards players that are going to be here and help support Sam in the future. The other thing is, if you look at how it worked out, the Jets basically paid $1 million for a 3rd-round pick by picking Teddy up off, I don't want to say the scrap heap, but picking him up and using him and having him play a few preseason series. They paid $1 million to get a 3rd-round pick from him. To put that in perspective, the Browns last year paid $16 million for a 2nd-round pick. So the Jets basically didn't give up a whole heck of a lot to be able to get that extra pick. Again, kind of frustrated because I would have liked to have seen that turn into a 2nd to replace one of the picks we gave up for Sam. But now with that 3rd-round pick, now it brings into a little bit more conversation. Hey, do the Jets give up a 1st and a 3rd to get a Khalil Mack? To get maybe an offensive lineman? Maybe you package those 2 thirds together, move up in the 2nd round to get a player that you really like that's kind of falling. Again, not overly crazy about the compensation, but I think when you kind of take a step back and you really think about it, it really is a good deal for both teams, the Saints and the Jets. And I think this is one of the few kind of trades where both teams make out well. Let me know down below. Are you guys upset that we traded Teddy? Did you want more for him? Did you want to keep him? Did you want him to start? These are all valid questions. Let me know. As always, guys, go Jets. J-E-T-S-J!